Hello everyone and welcome back to the start of Season 2 of our F125 My Team Career Mode. Yes, we're back in Albert Park this weekend for the first round of the all-new campaign. If you missed out on pre-season testing that went live yesterday, go back, check it out. It's safe to say that the driver transfers now work inside F125. We have got a huge shake-up of the roster as we head into the new season. Lando Norris has joined Ferrari alongside Charles Leclerc. Oscar Piastri has gone to Mercedes for the new year. McLaren have got an all-new lineup. Esteban Ocon has got a seat at Red Bull, and plenty more. Of course, we've got our all-new lineup of Yuki Tsunoda and Isaac Hadjar as we head to the new campaign. We've got an all-new livery on the car. Yes, all of you can stop moaning at me for never slapping on any sponsors or anything like that, because I have sorted it out, ready for Season 2. Of course, a massive thank you to everybody for all the support throughout Season 1. I'm still trying to hit 150,000 subs on the channel, so please do make sure you get yourself subscribed. Also, if you want early access to tomorrow's video from Shanghai, you can do so by clicking the join button down below. It costs just £1 a month. You get early access to all the videos. But yeah, without further ado then, let's return here to Albert Park. Well, I don't normally showcase free practice in this series, but of course, as is always tradition with the first round of the new season, I like to go out, I like to talk about kind of the characteristics of the car that seem to have changed. Of course, as you can see, the livery, we've got all those updated sponsors like I mentioned in the intro. In terms of vehicle performance, now we are up to 9th best heading into the new season. We've just jumped VCARB, so hopefully Isaac Hadjar, obviously we're driving as him, so hopefully he's going to get the better over his old team throughout the course of this season. But yeah, you know, I think our main goal this year is try to come best of the rest, hopefully beat out Aston Martin after they finished ahead of us last season. I'm feeling quite confident. I feel like, you know, we've learnt a lot more. We know a lot more about the game's mechanics, where a 1-stop's viable, where a 2-stop might be the way to go, all that good stuff. And the car feels pretty good as well, I must admit, from my little bit of free practice running. It feels like it's got a fair bit of bite at the front end. Hopefully it's going to be a little bit better on its tyres. That's probably the big one inside this year's game. I'm very excited though for Season 2. I think we're going to see, you know, with so many driver moves, a lot of surprises, a lot of upsets throughout this new season. But anyway, I'm going to try and keep earning as much R&D as I can inside this game to keep getting the upgrades on. Generally, Season 2 is where you kind of start really doing a lot of the upgrades inside the F1 career mode. So this year is going to be a big one for us.
And a warm welcome, everybody. We're here in the heart of Melbourne. It's Albert Park, and it's qualifying for the Australian Grand Prix.
Well, according to the team's data, we are right on the crossover between the dries and the intermediates. I'll be honest, looking at the circuit, I don't think that's going to be the case here, as we've got a lot of cars in the pits, though, so they might be in real trouble here. Because, I mean, the rain has completely stopped. If we see a lot of improvements towards the end of the session, there could be a couple of guys out that you would not expect to see. As, I mean, trying to have a look then, what's the grip like through turn 1? Much better than it was earlier on in the session. Surely we're going to see a big improvement as Antonelli just temporarily brings himself up into safety. Lance Stroll now, I believe he's making his way out the final corner. And there we go, Oscar Piastri, debut for Mercedes this weekend, of course, back at his home Grand Prix. Top of the board for now. Charles Leclerc makes it through. I'm hoping, of course, our teammates should make it through as well. Plenty of drivers. Of course, I've got to learn so many new drivers and teams this season. It is going to be quite impressive. We're down in the drop zone for now. Looks like Paul Aaron, Jack Crawford, Bortoletto and Albon are all definitely going to be out in Q1. But I'm hoping we should see Q2, as long as I don't make any major mistakes. 8 tenths up by the end of the middle sector against Paul Aaron, so let's just get to the flag. Well, it is fantastic to see so many new drivers in the sport. Of course, again, a bit like the real-life 2025 year. Okay, plenty of rookies making their way in.
We're in the drop zone. We need a quick lap, or that's qualifying over for us.
There you go. Mark was too busy waffling in the background, but Yuki and I both inside the top 10 in Q1. Safely through, that's the priority. And there we go, Charles Leclerc fastest, obviously our reigning world champion, just ahead of Oscar Piastri and Liam Lawson. Franco Colapinto, he's done a very good job on his return to the sport. Esteban Ocon, though, in his debut for Red Bull, looking like he's going to end up with a similar experience to all of the other recent Red Bull drivers. Ollie Behrman, Paul Aaron, Jack Crawford, Albon and Bortoletto all out in Q1. But what will happen in Q2? Oh, there we go. Perfect. DRS now has been enabled. I realised this first run wasn't going to be the one to try and set the lap time. So I'm just trying to save fuel right towards the end, but might be about to get Isaac Hadjar straight to the top of the board. Like I said, just trying to make sure we've got enough fuel in the reserves to get a full lap on the board. Second time round, I've tried to charge up the battery, but yeah, I mean, I enjoy the changeable conditions now they fix the rain on this game. But yeah, now with the tyres a little bit more to temperature, getting a big old slide out of the final corner. But now we've got to try and go for the real lap. And even then, I mean, with all that lifting, we still went quicker than a few people. So clearly the pace is definitely there. I mean, look at that. A load of drivers pit again. I think a lot of people just obviously couldn't get back out on the dry compound tyres. So for whatever reason, the AI have given up here in qualifying. Very, very weird. To see that, so this could mean that everybody still out on a run is going to find bags of time here. I mean, surely every car that is out is going to safely make Q3. There's definitely a grip through the chicane. As soon as I say that, we almost bid it. But as we make our way down towards the final few corners, then we are 6 seconds up on our previous lap time. So this time round, trusting our instincts here, and hopefully we are about to see Q3. I mean, even if we run out of fuel through the final corner, we should safely make it through. Is everybody into the pit lane? What on earth is this as we round our way through the final corner? Every other car back in the pits. We're going to go top of the board surely by about 5 seconds. Well, we were going to go top of the board by about 5 seconds. Little did I realise that only Pierre Gasly saw the vision at the end of qualifying there. So myself and the Frenchman, yeah, 5 seconds clear of everybody else. Charles Leclerc, Max Verstappen, both of you, Mercedes and Lando Norris, all making it through. Kimi Antonelli on his debut for Haas looking pretty good. Stroll will make it through just ahead of Liam Lawson. Gutted that Tsunoda hasn't made it by. And honestly, it kind of looks like everybody you would expect made it through has. And me. Well, here we are then. Our last qualifying lap in the all-new 212 Motorsport NGP 002. And let's see what we can find then. 0.3 of a second to try and beat Antonelli. 0.6 of a second if we want to get up to the time set by Carlos Sainz. I think McLaren have duped everybody, though, as we head into this new season, because we didn't expect them to be competitive. And, well, they absolutely are, so maybe doing a little bit of trickery like they've done IRL in 2025. Of kind of not pushing any more than they've needed to. Just throwing the car through the first few corners of the lap then. Already we found about another 1/4 of a second here. And there's definitely more to find. Down one gear. Oh, a little bit wide. As we try and head out onto the back straight there. That was a bit ragged. And we'll compromise ourselves a little bit of speed. Luckily, we can counteract that with a load of battery. Down this straight. It's 210 miles an hour on the entry towards turn 9 and turn 10. Down one gear, attack the curbing. Don't even downshift through the second. A huge swapper over the curb. Max Verstappen, a 1:13.8. That is a ridiculously quick lap time by the Dutchman. But in towards this final sector then, Isaac Hadjar really trying to get everything we possibly can out of this car to kickstart the all-new season. Will we go quicker than anybody else? See Gasly now down to P6. So maybe McLaren now just starting to get a little bit pegged back. Towards everybody else. Out of the final corner though, 0.8 clear, a 1:14.9. We split the McLarens. Well, there we go then. We found nearly 4 seconds of car performance between last season and this one. If I had to guess, I would say just over 2 seconds of that is probably the car getting quicker. Another 1.5 seconds is probably the setup. Matt212 Racing, there's a link in the description if you want my setups for this game. And then last but not least, of course, I have become a lot more comfortable inside F1 25 as well. But P7 on the grid, ready for the first race of the year. Hopefully we can get some points.
Months of rumour and speculation all come to an end today as we return to racing for the opening event of what promises to be an enthralling season. Welcome along then to round 1 of this year's Formula 1 World Championship. We go racing today then in the state of Victoria, where the drivers have 14 corners and 3.28 miles to navigate at an average lap speed of around 120 miles per hour. The close proximity of the barriers make accidents inevitable, and recent history shows us that a safety car is not at all out of the question. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position, and Oscar Piastri completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Russell, Lando Norris, and Gasly, Hadjar, Sainz, Antonelli, and Lance Stroll, Lawson, Colapinto, Jack Doohan, and Tsunoda, Hülkenberg, Pepe Marti, Esteban Ocon, and Paul Aaron, Crawford, Albon, Bortoletto, and Ollie Behrman rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Radio check, radio check.
Radio check.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Oh, there we go then. Isaac Hadjar, he sounds pumped up and ready for the start of the all-new campaign. But lining up 7th then, Australia should be a fairly easy one-stop today. But again, you never quite know how the car is going to fare on the all-new Pirellis. A different spec come in every season. Sometimes they're better, usually they're worse. Staggeringly though, Ollie Behrman, already grid penalties at the back of the field. If that's not the most French thing I've seen inside this game, then I don't know what is. But hopefully today, we can give this Frenchman something to smile about. The 5 red lights are on here in Australia. And it's going to be lights out, and away we go then. Lando Norris trying to defend from his own cars. Oscar Piastri there having to defend from George Russell on the run down towards someone. And Leclerc straight around the outside of both Mercedes, number to P2. And our last world champion will try and go up the heads against our reigning world champion, Pierre Gasly. Lando Norris battling wheel to wheel down in towards turn 3. I'm so intrigued to see what Norris is going to be able to do behind the wheel of that Ferrari car there. But sort of Gasly tried to go around the outside, thought better of it on the exit of the corner there, so we will stay line astern. All the chaos seems to be happening in front and behind me, because we've done a fairly good job just to stay exactly where we were come the end of qualifying. Let's see if we can get a run though immediately on our fellow Frenchman here. We want to be top Frenchmen early on this season. As to the inside we'll go, making our way down the back straight, the inside line for turn 9 and turn 10. And again, Gasly forced to back out of another one off the start of the Grand Prix. Verstappen still leading the way at the front though, but he versus Charles Leclerc, that is a battle again. Well, I'm sure we're going to hype up this season. Russell and Oscar Piastri though, who will be top dog down at Mercedes even? Well, I think it's safe to say we're already quickly figuring out a pecking order as we head through this first race of the new year. And that is definitely that Ferrari have got the car to beat. Leclerc, he's now rocked up to the back of Verstappen and has blown by him, and of course wants to make it 4 straight victories in a row, and obviously kickstart the new season in fantastic form. Lando Norris is hounding Oscar Piastri for P4 as well in this race. I think if the Mercs can work together, they can keep Lando back. But yeah, McLaren as well, they seem to be fairly competitive, more competitive than any of us were expecting. And then we're just kind of in there hanging on for dear life early on. Tyre wear, though, seems to be pretty good. So, you know, all positive signs. All it does mean is we are making progress in the right direction to hopefully fight for a title at some point. Oh, okay, Verstappen. I was going to say, I thought Verstappen might have been losing a bit of time to us, this group of cars behind him over the last few laps, and it looks like the Dutchman then is going to be on a 2-stop strategy today. We're definitely one-stopping, like there's no question about it around this venue, but yeah, that's a big shock by Red Bull. There we go, Lando Norris then. First time Oscar Piastri hasn't got any DRS to defend himself, and Lando immediately will say thank you very much, and Oscar, very slow off the corner as well. Can we go around the outside of the Mercedes man? Down in towards those final few corners. Just locking up ever so slightly on the way in. We just get the car slowed down though, and up into P4 of this Grand Prix. Well, we might have ran the tyre pressure ever so slightly too low around this circuit. You can just see that rear left is just overheating ever so slightly. So we are going to dive into the pit lane at the end of this lap. But if I can make a move on Lando Norris before we call the car in, I'm not going to complain. Oh, right up under his gearbox, but immediately met by the dirty air. That, yeah, will deny us any opportunity this time round. But Ferrari 212 Mercedes, we are really battling it up with the big boys today. And I'm having a lot of fun doing it. The car feels fantastic here around this venue. And well, hopefully it'll continue right to the very end. As are we going to see anybody else in? Definitely George Russell in, I assume. Yep, there is Charles Leclerc into the pits as well. So Ferrari will be hoping for a routine pit stop, as we will just about get ahead of the Monegasque man. So that's going to slow him up ever so slightly. Nice, come on, we need a good pit stop here, team. Start the year with a good one, please, please, please.
Okay,
That's pretty good going.
Perfect job.
Not going to complain.
The crew there, mate. We're delighted with that. That was our
So there we go,
last stop.
Verstappen.
No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go.
Verstappen will temporarily put himself up into the lead of the Grand Prix there. It's got Gasly and Lance Stroll having quite the battle into turn 1. Franco Colapinto, Pepe Marti now just behind us, both inside the top 10. Again, there are so many new names. Yeah, definitely just the way Gasly rolls off out onto this back straight. He is still struggling in that car, as we will claim the DRS off of him. Whoa! He tries to give me a bit of a squeeze. It's 216 miles an hour. This thing is a missile in a straight line past him and Lance Stroll. 2 for the price of 1 down the back straight there. I can't wait to get to like Monza or Vegas. How quick can this car go? Oh, there we go, Verstappen. Verstappen back into the pit lane then for his second box in this Grand Prix. And I think he and Esteban Ocon are likely going to be the 2 cars we're battling with towards the end of the afternoon. Russell now proving to Charles Leclerc that he is not going to go uncontested this year. But yeah, as soon as we dropped out of the range of Lando Norris, he has just steadily pulled away from me. Can't help but feel that Oscar Piastri has had some issues as well, adjusting to his new Mercedes car. Oh, for the new season? Come on, don't do that. I span last year here as well. That time round I got a wheel on the grass. This time round it was a wheel on the curb, because that's going to cost us a good few seconds and some very important tyre life. Let's see if Oscar can drag me along. Oh, that's not good. Hello? We're running low on fuel. Sorry? Well, I was not expecting that to be a problem in this Grand Prix, but clearly there's one thing I didn't know about this car, and that's it's got a drinking problem, it would appear. So gonna have to be very, very careful inside these final 10 laps. These are all the kind of things that you learn during the first race of a new season. But, I mean, we might have to drop out the range of Oscar Piastri just to save the fuel. That's what we need to be doing. Big lifts and coasts. There are luckily quite a few braking zones where you can do that around this lap. But that is not good. Oh, you got yellows. Charles Leclerc's gone. Charles Leclerc, I think, is he out of the Grand Prix? He must be. So, a huge drama. No, he's carried on. He's carried on. So, Leclerc's gone for a spin then in this Grand Prix. And from our reigning world champion, under pressure from George Russell in this Grand Prix, it has all gone pear-shaped. And Charles Leclerc maybe now not shaking off the image that he can occasionally be a little bit of a bottle job in Formula 1. That's going to promote Lando Norris up to P2. And now he's trying to hunt down Russell. Oh, we've got more yellows. We've got more yellows. Is that Williams? Is that Franco Colapinto that is dropping out now of the Grand Prix as well then? Drama late on. And yes, it is the Argentinian on his return to the Williams team. Yeah, Verstappen has all but closed in on me now, so I don't think there's going to be anything we can do against him down the back straight unless we can defend through that yellow flag zone. But Franco Colapinto, our second retirement of the day. Disappointing for him, and I'm sure the Argentinians will have an excuse for that over on Twitter. And we just try and hold off Lando, Max even, as we make our way down in towards the yellow flags. He's going to have the DRS on me, but again, we just about will hold off. There is Colapinto's stricken car. Oh, I mean, that's a little bit cheeky there from the Dutchman, trying just to hang it alongside us. Shouldn't really be trying to go for overtaking manoeuvres, especially when there's a stricken car. But lifting and coasting in towards, these final few corners. Maybe not braking enough. Well, luckily, I think if Esteban Ocon gets by me right now, that is going to be the last car to jump us in this race. Sainz, Stroll and Gasly battling for your final places inside the top 10. But yeah, Ocon nothing we can really do there. Such a shame, you know, it's not the cars ran out of pace or we picked up damage or anything like that. It was just a simple miscalculation that is going to cost us what could have been a massive haul of points today. I mean, a P7 finish to kickstart the year won't be bad, but Formula 1, it's kind of gone back to where it was almost 10 years ago, with Mercedes, Red Bull and Ferrari all comfortably clear of everybody else. Making our way then through the final corners to start the last lap of the Australian Grand Prix. As I said, on the one hand, gutted that we're not going to be able to fight with those Red Bulls towards the flag. It looks like Verstappen has got the jump on Piastri, but we definitely could have held up Esteban Ocon towards the end of the afternoon. Shout-outs though to the Frenchman. After a rough qualifying yesterday, he has really jumped in that car today and got absolutely back to where you need him to. And maybe now Red Bull have finally got a number 2 inside this game. No idea what's been going on between Sainz and Stroll and Gasly towards the end, because they've taken no time out of me whatsoever. But for George Russell, up at the front of the order, finally have Mercedes sussed out these ground effect cars. He's won a race here or there before with the team, but this one will be massive to kickstart the new campaign. He forced Charles Leclerc into an error this afternoon, and he has reaped the rewards. Mercedes back on top. Here in the land down under, George Russell, a Grand Prix winner once again. Lando Norris will follow him home in P2. Charles Leclerc will make it a double Ferrari podium. But oh, what could have been today. But as we limp our car through these final few corners, I think we have got enough spare fuel now. I've just been obviously completely coasting home in these final few laps. I think this is Isaac Hadjar's best result so far inside F125. And boy oh boy, we have finally got a car that can compete.
Here's the checkered flag. Here's our winner. By George, he's done it. Russell wins.
And to get a victory at the first race of the season, this might be a sign of things to come. One thing's for sure is that this performance will be giving the team and the driver relief and confidence going into the rest of the season.
It's time for our podium celebrations. And as ever in Formula 1, 3 is the magic number. And taking his place on the top step of the podium, he gave it some hustle. Well done to George Russell.
Well, there we are then. George Russell race victory here in Albert Park, Australia. What a way to kickstart the season. Lando Norris will come through for P2 ahead of Charles Leclerc, with Verstappen just ahead of Piastri and Esteban Ocon. All 3 Frenchmen inside your top 10 this weekend. We come through for 7th, just ahead of Sainz, Stroll and Pierre Gasly. Albon narrowly missing out on points in P11, just ahead of Andrea Kimi Antonelli. Top rookie then, I believe, was Pepe Marti this weekend for VCARB, just ahead of Jack Crawford. Tsunoda, a rough start to the year. Hopefully he's going to be able to try and find his footing though, but he's still be out both Alpines of Doohan and Behrman, Hulkenberg, Aaron, Bortoletto, and Colapinto and Liam Lawson both failing, of course, to see the checkered flag. What does that do to our championship? Of course, drivers exactly the same as your race result. Constructors-wise, though, Mercedes 2 points clear of Ferrari in the Constructors, Red Bull in 3rd there, but we are a point ahead of McLaren, so maybe they are going to be our rival throughout the course of the season. 6 teams scoring points, I should say, to kickstart the campaign, and what an opener it has been. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll be back tomorrow ready in Shanghai.